Hi, this is Suzanne Williams with Essential Oils Help Matters in Living the Wholesome Life. And we are on week 12, day 1 of our Positive Peaceful Growth journey, as together we are working through Dr. Susan Lawton's Positive Peaceful Growth calendar. Now, you can buy that calendar at Aroma Tools or Oil Life, and it's this amazing calendar that every day has different positive affirmations. They have an affirmation for the week and then daily affirmations Monday through Friday. And they also have a song connected with the affirmations and then for the week. And they also have a diffuser blend of the week. And I'm really loving this week's affirmation, which is, I am forgiving myself for waiting to be happy. Now, I didn't say I am forgiving myself for wanting to be happy. I said I'm forgiving myself for waiting to be happy. And sometimes we put off the very things that could bring us happiness. So the first thing that I wanted to talk about when it comes to happiness is that it's okay to want to be happy. It's not a selfish thing. So one of the people I love to follow is Gretchen Rubin, and she has written, she's a New York Times bestselling author, and she's written the book called The Happiness Project. And we'll be talking about a little bit more about that later. She's also written a book called The Four Tendencies, which I absolutely love. You should check out. They have a wonderful test, and it really helps you understand your motivation, what motivates you better. But when it comes to happiness, what Gretchen Rubin says is that a lot of people, when you say, I want to be happy, they see that as a very, very selfish thing. When she said, when all studies indicate that if you are happy, you are much more likely to want to care about other people. You're much more philanthropic. You're much more likely to give money to different causes. You're much more likely to help people when they come to you asking for help, or even to help people when you notice that they need help, when you yourself are happy. So the best way to help others is actually to help yourself be happy. So she says that if indeed happiness is a selfish thing, we should be selfish so that we have the wherewithal, the energy, the mental energy, to help other people. So being happy yourself is the best way to help other people. So if you're one of those people who thinks to themselves, I can't be happy, maybe we should change that mindset to, I need to be happy so that I can help other people. And so that's the first point that I wanted to bring out when it comes to happiness. And so the next point so I'm going to go through some of the things that Gretchen Rubin says in her studies leads to happiness. And the first one is actually getting enough sleep. Sleep is so important to happiness. And what studies have found is if you're sleep deprived, like, you don't even know if you're sleep deprived. It gets to be something that you don't notice as, like, maybe if you stayed up all night for, at a slumber party or something like that when you were young, you notice that you're dragging the next day. But if you cut your sleep just a little bit each night, you're like, oh, I'm going to stay up late doing this, and you kind of get in the habit of staying up late, that you don't know how sleep deprived you are. You don't know that you're functioning not at your best. And when you're sleep deprived, it can affect your memory, it can affect your mood, and it can affect your immune function too. So studies show that the average adult needs to get at least 7 hours of sleep to be functioning at their best. So if you're not getting 7 hours of sleep, I would definitely look into that and see how you can get better sleep. And, obviously I love essential oils. And so, lavender and vetiver are some of the two main oils that instantly come to mind when it comes to helping people get better sleep. doTERRA's Serenity is an amazing oil also to help have people get better sleep. So anyway, if you're putting off your sleep, if you're not getting enough sleep, that's something that can cut your happiness level. Things are just going to feel bigger when you're not functioning with enough sleep. So, and I know if you're a new mom that we often get our sleep disrupted many times a night, obviously, especially if you have a new baby. But just trying to say, just, being the mom here and reinforcing that sleep is important. So do everything that you can to get enough sleep. If you're being woken up through the night, please take a nap. Take a nap during the day if at all you can. Anyway, maybe nap when your baby naps, okay? But get enough sleep. That's going to do a lot to raise your happiness level. The next thing that Gretchen Rubin recommends is exercising. So, because it gives you more energy, and it actually, those endorphins, everyone knows, science tells us that those endorphins make us happier. So, if you're one of those people that put off exercising, please forgive yourself for that and start exercising. And you don't need to do like this 1 hour, 2 hour, whatever, gym workout. You don't need to do that. You can go walking around the block with your favorite friends. You can do the stairs in your house. Whatever you're doing, you can do a HIIT routine. You can every hour right now, I am trying to move a little bit more. And so I'm taking two minutes of most hours through the day. Well, this is what I'm trying to do. I don't always do it, but I'm trying to take 2 minutes of each hour to do some type of calisthenics. So to do jumping jacks or high knees, toe touches, burpees, whatever it is that can just give me a 2-minute endorphin rush and give me a little bit more energy boost and help raise our happiness. Exercise raises our happiness. One of the things that they said, that if you're feeling tired, if you're feeling sluggish and you don't want to exercise, that exercise actually makes you feel more energized, which I know is counterintuitive, but it does. So anyway, exercise can raise your happiness level. If you've been putting exercise off, forgive yourself for that and hop on to the exercise wagon. Okay. One of the other things that studies show, and I didn't know this by study-wise, but one of the other things that studies show is that if you sing, well, I knew that when you sing, you feel happier. Like it releases those, I don't know the study on this, but I'm just going to guess that it releases the endorphins too. And it makes your brain think that you are happy. And so one of the things that Gretchen Rubin suggests is singing first thing in the morning. Now, I just have to tell you a little bit about my dad. His name is Richard Kuntz. And he, throughout my life, he would wake us up singing. He would sing, Oh, What a Beautiful Morning from Oklahoma. And he would sing, I'm Forever Blowing Bubbles. I think that's a song from the 20s, actually. He was born in 1939. Anyway, and he would sing, Hallelujah, I'm a Bum. Like, I don't even know why some of those were his favorite songs, but often in the mornings, he would wake us up in singing. And my dad is one of the happiest people I know. One of the happiest people I know. And so, whether you're singing in the shower in the morning, I totally suggest that habit. Especially as the science there's a lot of science behind it. So singing in your morning is just a good way to start your day off being happy. One of the other things that Gretchen Rubin talks about when it comes to being happy is novelty, which means newness, and challenge. So if you're like kind of down in the dumps, you don't feel like doing anything, actually getting up and doing something new, playing a new game, watching a new movie, reading a new book, going out to a new restaurant, meeting a new friend, having a new experience, going to a new country, taking a new way to work, maybe even, can actually make you happier. So let's try it. Let's get out of our ruts. Let's go ahead and let's forgive ourselves if we tend to do things the same way all the time. Let's forgive ourselves for that, and let's just go and do something new. Okay, so one of the other things that Gretchen Rubin finds, and this would be intuitive, is she finds that outer order leads to inner calm. Now I'm going to say that again because I really, really like that. So she finds that outer order leads to inner calm, inner happiness. And so if your house is a mess, if your room is a mess, if your dorm is a mess, let's change that. Let's do something. You know, maybe I'm trying right now to take the, trying to take in the last 10 minutes of every hour, I'm trying to do a 2-minute calisthenic, and then I'm trying to do an 8-minute cleanup. And it is honestly amazing to me how those little tiny 8-minute cleanups help. So I almost think that, and it's movement too, and movement just changes your energy too. So I really do think that you know, we have the public school system in the United States, and you know, there might be people who could make a case that there's a lot of things wrong with the public school system, and there's a lot of things right with the public school system. But one of the things that I really think is a gift in the public school system is that the classes are basically in 50-minute classes, and then you have to get up and walk to your next class. So every 50 minutes, you're getting up, you're seeing your friends in the hall, waving to them, high-fiving them, whatever, and you're actually moving to your next class. And depending on how big your high school is, you might be walking upstairs, downstairs, out to other buildings, right? And so that movement actually keeps students happier and helps to engage their brain more. And so let's make sure that if we have a desk job, or if we have a little bit more sedentary of a lifestyle, that we are getting up and moving in some different way 10 minutes of each hour. And if your environment is not clean and orderly the way you would want it to be, the way that makes you feel peaceful when you look at it, then let's do something to change that. Okay, and one of the things she talks about is one of the easiest things to do each morning is just making your bed. There are so many people who talk about changing habits and happiness and having willpower. And what they say is making your bed first thing in the morning is an instant victory for you. It kind of shows your brain that you have willpower. You're able to do things that you don't necessarily want to do. And it's so you start your day with a success, and you start your day with a willpower boost. And so just, I don't know, maybe give the habit of making your bed a try. See what it does for you. See if it doesn't make you a little bit more happy and feel a little bit better about yourself. Okay, so one of the things that Gretchen Rubin says is to imitate a spiritual master. And I'm just going to put that off for a little while because I want to talk to you a little bit more about that later. But I just wanted to include that here just as a thing to think about when you are trying to imitate and become like someone spiritual. You're just going to be more happy. And then the last thing that Gretchen Rubin says is that relationships make you happy. Whether that's a good relationship with your spouse, a good relationship with your children, a good relationship with your coworkers, having friends that you can turn to in times of needs. Relationships are so important. So I wanted to stop now talking about what Gretchen Rubin talks about when it comes to happiness. And I want to talk to you about one of the longest studies that's ever been going on. It's called the longitudinal study, which means that it goes over years. So basically what they did is and I can't remember the name of the study, but maybe I can find it and put it in my notes, or in the comment section. But basically what they did is they took a group of people from Harvard that they thought would be very, very successful in life, and they took a group of people from the poorest and the most disadvantaged families in Boston, and then they studied them. They asked them a ton of questions, and then they studied them basically every 2 years. Now, this study has been going on for decades now, and it's actually a happiness study. The whole basis of the study was what actually makes people happy, and what they found is that it's relationships. The number one thing that makes people happy is having good relationships in your life. So if you have been putting off a good relationship with your children while you are keeping the house clean, if you have been putting off a good relationship with your spouse because you're trying to make as much money as you can, if you've been putting off a good relationship, if you kind of are on your phone doing Facebook, doing whatever, instead of connecting with your friends and family, then you might want to rethink that. You might want to rethink on how can I lean into relationships? How can I improve the different relationships? How can I put relationships as one of the top things in my life? Because they are going to bring you happiness. The other thing that I wanted to talk about when it comes to happiness is that money helps. So if you're living very, very poor and then you get some money, then that actually does help you when you're hungry, when you're starving, when you can't, when your children need something like dental work or medical care or whatever it is, and you can't afford to do that, obviously that is going to lower your happiness level. So money does help bring happiness, but it doesn't. So basically what studies find is that money enough to meet your needs helps you be happier. But when you have just like a ton of money, you're not very much more happier than just when your needs are being met. And when you're super rich, you're really not very much more happy than when your needs are being met. So the amount of happiness that you get from money definitely doesn't go up. Like, it's not a one-to-one relationship. Like, a billionaire isn't going to be more happy than just a person getting their needs met. There's other things that affect happiness. So yes, you do need to have enough money for your needs. Past that, tons more money doesn't really bring you a lot more happiness. Now, that said, I think that if you're using that tons more money to help a lot more people in life, like if you're super philanthropic with that money, I do think that can bring a lot of contentment and joy. So just do your own thinking about money and about happiness. Okay, so the other thing when it came to money and when it came to happiness is they did a study. They did a study on people who won the lottery and how like their happiness level that they rated before they won the lottery, which is obviously going back and say how happy were you before you won the lottery, and then they did a happiness level in 2 years after they had won the lottery, and what they found is lottery winners weren't really any more happy after they had won the lottery than before they won the lottery. Now, they also did a study on people who had become paraplegic and they had lost the use of their legs, and they did a rating of what was your happiest level before you lost the use of your legs, and then what's your happiness level now, and then then they studied them again 2 years later on what's your happiness 2 years later after losing the use of your legs. And what they found too in that population is that 2 years later, it didn't matter. Losing the use of their legs didn't matter. They had the same happiness level that they had before they lost the use of their legs. To me, that's profound. To me, that shows that our happiness level is something that that outer circumstances really can't affect. They can affect it at the moment. Like if you have like your mom die, or a child get, deathly ill, or maybe you lose your job or something like that. That's definitely going to affect your happiness level in the moment. But over time, that one incident, you're going to recover. You are going to recover. So if you've had some major, profound catastrophe in your life, I'm just going to say, hang on. Be patient. The happiness that you once felt in your life will come back to you. It will come back to you. Studies after studies shows that your happiness level does come back. So I just wanted to say that. Now, I wanted to, remember when they talked about imitating or trying to become like a spiritual mentor in your life, and or figure in your life. And so I really do think that God has a plan of happiness for us. So here's a quote that I totally love, and it says, "Happiness is the object and the design of our existence, and will be the end thereof if we pursue the path that leads to it." Now this quote is attributed to Joseph Smith, but Aristotle said something very, very similar. And I didn't write that quote down, but Aristotle said something super similar to that, was that man's destiny is happiness. Man's purpose and destiny is happiness. I'll try to look up that Aristotle quote and put it in the notes, the comments for you. But and even the Constitution of the United States talks about the pursuit of happiness, how we all have a right to the pursuit of happiness. And so I think that everyone wants to be happy. And I really do believe that God wants us to be happy. I feel like that man and women are that we might have joy. And I think that there's a path to joy. I think that as we obey the commandments of God, we gain joy. And so if you have been putting off obeying the commandments, if you've been putting off repenting of something that you need to repent of, if you've been putting off forgiving someone that you need to forgive, I want you to forgive yourself. Forgive yourself for putting it off. And then go and do something about it today. If you need to repent today. Today is a good day to repent and to get that sin off of your heart and off of your conscience. Today is a good day to repent. If you've been putting off forgiving someone, forgive yourself for that. And then pray to God and ask for the strength and the wisdom that you need to forgive someone. And if you've been putting off, being honest, not stealing, whatever commandment it is that you've been putting off, forgive yourself for that. Start keeping the commandment and move on, right? When it comes to happiness, here are some things that I think can help with happiness when it comes to spirituality. I feel like patience can help. Sometimes we go through very trying things in our life, and sometimes we have very trying people in our life, right? And if we can just learn patience, when we're patient with those trying people, we might try to understand them a little bit more and get to know them a little bit more. And I'm going to guess that's going to help us be happier with them and love them more. If we're patient with our own imperfections, I'm not perfect yet, but today I'm going to try to be a little bit more perfect. That patience can help us in our happiness. Obviously, gratitude. is in one of the main things that can help us with our happiness too. Being grateful for the blessings that we have, being grateful for the people that we have in our lives, being grateful for the knowledge that we have in our lives. There's just so many things that we can be grateful for. So, they say, are you ever burdened with a load of care? Does the load, anyway, you know the song. But basically it says, if you're going through a very hard time in your life, counting your blessings can help. And it does. One of the things that counting your blessings does is it helps to organize your brain. And when your brain is disorganized, little things can be big, and little hurts can seem huge. But when your brain is organized, it's not that way. And so one of the things, there's two things that can really help instantly organize your brain. And one is being grateful and naming your blessings. The other thing is reading. So just saying, if you haven't picked up a good book in a while, try picking up a good book. It might just help you organize your brain and help you be happier. Okay, and one of the other things that can help us be happy is serving others. Have you ever just felt, oh, my troubles are so horrible, and then you go to some service project and you come home and you're like, yeah, my life is happy. My life is manageable. And so serving others, like I feel like that when we serve others, God not only gives us different blessings in our life, as a maybe a thank you gift to us, but I think that when we serve others, God also just lets us realize our life is actually good. Our life is better than we thought it was. And so service is a great key to happiness. And one of the other things, again, that I wanted to mention that I kind of, mentioned before, but I want to mention it this way, is that peace of conscience is peace of mind. And when you have peace of mind, like let's say that you yelled at your children today, right? And what mom or dad doesn't sometimes lose their temper with their children? If you are a mom or dad who has never lost their temper with their children, hallelujah for you. I wish that everyone was like that. I wish I was more like that. But sometimes we do. We speak a little bit more harshly than we want. Sometimes we say things that we regret. And so if we do that and then we don't make it right with them, and we go to bed that way, we just don't feel good about ourselves, right? But if we do, lose our temper with our children, and then we go back and we apologize and we try to make it right and we really commit to do better, we feel better about ourselves. So, let's just do a little bit of examination today. Is there anything that's troubling our conscience? Like, what do we need to make right? What do we need to make right? What relationships do we need to heal? What things do we need to apologize for? Whether it's 20 years ago or 30 years ago or 5 weeks ago, let's take the time, and we haven't apologized, we haven't made things right. Let's take the time to apologize. Let's take the time to make things right. I guarantee, no matter how little of a thing you are mending and fixing and repenting of and repairing, no matter how little of a thing, you will feel amazingly good about it. So if you have big things that you need to heal, repent of, repair, you're going to feel amazingly good as you work to repair them. One of my favorite people, Spencer W. Kimball, he was a prophet of our church, and he basically said the bandage needs to be as big as the wound. So if you've hurt someone deeply, deeply, deeply in the past, I'm just going to guess that an apology is not going to cut it. An apology is probably not going to just instantly heal everything. If you've done some major damage in your life, you probably need to do some major mending in your life too. Okay, trying to shut off our phone. We'll try to remember to do that later. Anyway, so I'm just reminding you that when it comes to happiness, that peace of conscience means peace of mind. So if there's anything in your past that you need to, your past or your far past that you need to go back and heal and correct, make yourself happier. Make other people happier. by mending those bridges, repairing those hurts. It'll just make a happier world for everyone. Okay, so I think that that's all I wanted to say about being happy for today, and just reminding yourself that if you've been not pursuing happiness in ways that actually do bring happiness, if you've been delaying your happiness for whatever reason, then stop waiting. Do the things and forgive yourself, and then start doing the things that actually bring you happiness. Okay. So that's the affirmation for the week. The affirmation for today is, I know I'm in charge of my own happiness. And it's true. Like God put you in charge of you. We are in charge of whether we're patient or not. We're in charge of whether we're loving or not. We're in charge of whether we're smart or not. Like, we can go and learn things, especially with all the resources we have today. We're in charge of whether we're smart or not, and are intelligent or enough, or well read or not, or we're a good cook or not, because we can actually learn how to be a good cook, right? That's not one of my skills. Thankfully, my husband has that skill, but we actually are in charge if we're a good cook or not, and we are in charge of whether we're happy or not. Okay, so I think I've given you enough things to do, all of us enough things to do, to consider what do we need to do, what do we need to change in our life so that we can be a little bit more happy. But the affirmation for today is, I am in charge of my own happiness. Now, I actually made up a song about this. I'm not going to sing it for you now, but I am going to sing it on a YouTube clip, or I'm going to have someone sing it on a YouTube clip, and then I'm going to post it here in the notes, because I love the song that I made up. It's a super simple song, something that I can totally imagine Fred Rogers singing on, or having one of his characters sing on Mr. Rogers' Neighborhood. It's just a super simple song, but it's something that I love that reminds me that we are in charge of our own happiness. Okay, so you all know that every week we always do a song for the week, and this week is no different. And as this week is about forgiving ourselves for waiting to be happy, the song for this week is Forgiveness by Matthew West. So I'm just being reminded of something that is super important to talk about when it comes to happiness. So there's a story. I think it comes from the Book of Virtues, but I'm not exactly sure where I heard the story. Anyway, there's a story about this guy, and he is given like a remote control, right? And he can basically fast forward his life anytime he wants. And but once he fast forwards it, he can't rewind it. Like, he's just that part of his life that he's fast forward, he's just done with that life. So he's a student in school, and he decides, this is so boring, I'm in a boring class, and so he kind of just fast forwards it, and to get past the boring class. And then he's like, wow, that was kind of cool. And then going to school a little bit more, he decides, I can't wait till, it's so boring in school, I can't wait till I'm out of school. And so then he fast forwards his life till he's out of school, right? And then he's working, and he's super excited to be working at first, and then he's like, work is such drudgery. And then what he does is he's like, oh, well, I'm just going to fast forward. I'm doing this. I don't like doing this. I'm just going to fast forward this day. And then he starts fast forwarding weeks and months at a time, until he's like, okay, I'm going to switch the story really quick right here. So from going to a guy, I'm now going to start talking about a girl, because I think that, I'm just going to do it for you. Okay, so we'll just pretend that it was a girl the whole time. The girl fast forwarded herself through school, and let's now say that she's in the dating period after school, and she's like, dating is so hard. I'm just going to fast forward my life till I'm married. So then she fast forwards her life till she's married, and then she's like, oh, it'd be so nice to have a little baby. And so she has a little baby. And then she's like, getting up, super early throughout the night is super hard. I'm just going to fast forward this part until I don't have to get up through the night. So that's what she does. She fast forwards her life. And then she's like, wow, wouldn't it be nice, all the things that we can do once our once our children are gone from our house and I can actually be spending more time just one-on-one with my husband. So she fast forwards that part of her life. And then she kind of fast forwards, she gets aches and pains, whatever. She fast forwards her life, whatever. I think you guys are kind of getting my clue here that there's something wrong at every single point of our life that we can fast forward through if we want to get to this happiness. Something. Oh, I'm going to be happier when I retire. I'm going to be happy when when I can go traveling, and so, but when we fast forward our life and when we don't appreciate the stage that we're in, we lose a lot of happiness. So maybe you're in that student phase and you're like, I don't like taking the test. Well, you know what? Don't concentrate on the test then. Not saying not to study for them, but concentrate on thinking about what is really making you happy right now in school, and enjoy your school experience all you can. And if you are in the dating world, and some days, some nights are going to go and you're not going to have a date, whatever. But concentrate on the good that's happening in your life in that college time of life, right? And then if you're in the work time of life, or you're in the raising children time of life, yeah, there's going to be things that are going to be hard, but concentrate on the things that you are loving. Like soak up every happiness that you possibly can at whatever point of life you're at. I feel like that's one of the keys to happiness, is just looking around, counting our blessings, and soaking up whatever happiness we have at the time. Okay, so going back, kind of got off, distracted a little bit with that comment, but going back to the song for this week. The song for this week is called Forgiveness by Matthew West, and that's forgiving yourself for waiting to be happy. And but this song talks about all different types of forgiveness. I do think that forgiveness is we need forgiving ourselves and forgiving others. Caleb, please stop. Forgiving ourselves or forgiving others can definitely increase our happiness level. And I do think they're connected. If you can't forgive yourself for things, you're probably going to have a hard time forgiving others for things. Similarly, if you can't forgive others for things, you're probably going to have a hard time forgiving yourself for things. So working on one or the other will increase your ability to forgive overall. Forgiving others increases your ability to forgive yourself. Forgiving yourself increases your ability to forgive others. So, listen to the song by Matthew West. I actually went through, I love putting together playlists. I love finding information and then putting it in places where I can access it again. And one week or a month, I decided to make a playlist of, I'm going to guess, about 100 songs, but maybe there's not that many. I haven't looked at it up recently, but of songs that remind me of the joy of forgiveness, the importance of forgiveness. And so I'll put the link to my playlist on forgiveness. If you have songs that you love to connect with when it comes to forgiving and you don't see them on my playlist, please list them in the comments. We are always looking for new songs when it comes to forgiveness, because forgiveness is such an important factor in everyone's life, in everyone's happiness. Okay, so talked about the songs, and then I also want to talk about, if you follow us, that every week we are diffusing a different essential oil blend. So this week we are diffusing 2 drops of bergamot, which is the oil of self-acceptance. And who doesn't need a little bergamot as we're heading into the holidays? Because sometimes when we get into the holidays, we just have so many expectations, or we have so many we're comparing ourselves to so many other people that it can lower our happiness. And so remembering that we are amazing can really raise our happiness, and bergamot can help with that. Okay, so then you have the oil of, 2 drops bergamot, 2 drops of Helichrysum, which is the oil for pain or pain relief. And so whether you're experiencing some physical pain in your life or whether you're experiencing some emotional pain in your life, Helichrysum can help. We know studies show that essential oils or even any type of medicine does emotionally what it does physically, which is why sometimes people take aspirin before giving a talk, because it takes away the pain, the fear, the anxiety of giving a talk. I'm not going to suggest doing that. I'm not going to, definitely do your research on aspirin. It does a number on your body. You don't want to be using it, but anyway, essential oils can help. So again, we're going to be diffusing 2 drops of Helichrysum in our blend, which is the oil for pain. And you know what? Going into the holidays, sometimes people do experience different pain. Maybe you'll experience the pain of not getting what you want during the holidays. Maybe you experience the pain of not being able to give what you wanted to give during the holidays. Maybe some of the holidays in the past have just been painful memories for you. Like Helichrysum can help us heal from all that. And then we have 2 drops of Juniper Berry, which is the oil of the night or the unknown. And so Juniper Berry can really help when we're going into new situations or when we fear the unknown. And so that's what we're diffusing this week. 2 drops of Bergamot, 2 drops of Helichrysum, 2 drops of Juniper Berry. Definitely buy them from your favorite essential oil friend, or I'm going to put the link in the comments for this video, and you can just click the link and buy that. I'm probably going to definitely make sure that I'm also putting on that link a place where you can buy lavender, because again, we talked about lavender for sleep, and sleep is so important as we are to function at our best and to function at our emotional best, to be our emotionally happiest person. So I'm definitely going to put lavender onto that, although you don't need to be diffusing that, except for I would definitely be diffusing lavender at night, or putting lavender on your chest area, on your feet at night. Okay, so I think that we have talked about everything that I want to talk about today. Just remind you that the affirmation for this week is I am forgiving myself for waiting to be happy. And the affirmation today is I know that I'm in charge of my own happiness. Okay, this is Suzanne Williams with Essential Oils, Health Matters, and Living the Wholesome Life. And we know that you have it in you to be happy and to make today an amazing day. Bye-bye.